So please allow me to welcome Mr. Akhil Nassim, the Deputy Program Manager for South India Fairtrade Network of Asia Pacific Producers. Mr. Akhil Nassim, may I please request you to come up on the dais? He would be kindly anchoring this entire session. If I may also invite our speakers for this morning, Mr. Amit Singh. Mr. Amit Singh is a Head Sustainability, Nature Biofoods and CEO for Ecolife Foundation. Mr. Avinash Karmakar, the Vice President, Pratibha-Vasudha, Jaivik, Krishi, Kalyan, Samiti. Mr. Sreekumar. Mr. Sreekumar is the Chief Executive Officer, Manarcadu Social Service Society. Mr. Indranil Ghosh, the Director for Chamong. Please note that there is going to be a parallel session that will be conducted in the Esquire Banquet Hall. It's going to be on strengthening producer voices for a fair transition. And now, I do see our speakers well settled. So, Akhil, you're all ready? So over to you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our first set of distinguished speakers for this morning. Can we have a bigger round of applause? Come on, we need some energy this morning. Louder. Thank you. That's a response I was looking for. All right, Akhil, over to you.
Thank you, Pooja, for the introduction. We do not inherit our planet from our forefathers. We borrow it from our future generations. Respected speakers, distinguished guests, and my fellow colleagues from the Fairtrade movement. This Native American proverb, which is a timeless reminder, sets a tone for the essence of what we are gathered here today. Climate change is no longer a distant concern. It's a reality that is lived by the producer organizations, and the impacts are deeply personal and immediate to them, whether it be the erratic rainfall, the prolonged droughts, or the pest outbreaks. At Fairtrade, climate action is not just restricted to the carbon footprint reduction. It's more about equipping producer organizations with the right knowledge and tools to mitigate and adapt the climate crisis. So in this session, we will be directly hearing from our producers who are in the forefront of the climate battle. So in this session, they will not just share their challenges, but also they'll talk about the innovative solutions they have been implementing at their organizations. So before we go to the first speaker, I would like to brief on how we are planning this session out. So first, we will have short introductory presentations from each of the producers. So we have a diverse panel with different products. We have rice, we have tea, we have cotton, as well as we have coffee. And all of them are from different regions of India. We have from North India, Northeast India, South India, as well as Central and West India. So first, it would be an introductory session about the work they've been doing. And then we'll have a panel discussion on, it would be basically a common questions asked to all of them. And we will have their answers based on their product and based on their region. So we'll have 4 different perspectives for each question. So yeah, with that, I invite the first speaker. So representing the coffee farmers of Western Ghats. So he's from my native state. So we start from the south. So from Kerala, we have Mr. Sreekumar. He's the CEO of Manarcadu Agriculture Society. Over to you for the first presentation, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. We are Manarcadu Social Service Society. We are going to present about the climate change, what are the measures we have taken. So I don't want to start explaining about our organization. You can get it everything in our site. So we started in the year 2001 in Kerala. Now we have celebrating our 25th year of establishment in 2026. So I'll right away go to the details. These are our certifications and accreditations. See, I start with 2018. As all you know, 2018, Idukki district and Kerala has faced a drastic flood. It was reported 300% more water, and the dam, the second largest arch dam, was opened after 30-35 years. So there was a huge loss of crops, around 250 bigger and shorter landslides. So many crops was taken, flushed out. More deaths were also there. Idukki was isolated for 5 to 6 days. Only air travel was there. So farmers were in question what to do. So there was a loss of soil was destroyed. Landslides was there. Crop was gone. So we started thinking how we can manage it. So our first priority was to re-establish the lost seedlings, which were the livelihood of the farmers. So from 2018, we have our own polyhouse and NAPP supported polyhouse was given. And also we started giving back the seedlings. So from 2018 up to now, every year, 50,000 seedlings of different varieties, coffee, spices, then fruits, all is given back to the farmers to regenerate the income and to restructure the soil. Along with that, we have given organic inputs because soil fertility was totally gone. We have to bring back the soil. So we have given humic acid, neem cake, compost, all other enriched compost, carpets, everybody to farmers. Still we are continuing it. And this is so that now we find out that around 18% of the reduction in the cost of pesticides, and because the soil is enriched back. And recently we installed, as our new intervention, we installed a biochar installation as a common facility so that farm waste, and we are basically a coffee and spice farmers. So coffee, we have a hurling center. So the coffee waste we want to convert into biochar and give back to the farmers. This is as a trial base, we have installed it. So this will, once our plan was to convert the waste into biochar and give back to the farmers to increase the soil fertility and conserve the water. Along with that, we have asked the farmers to conserve the water, even though it's a flood, but the farm doesn't have a water holding areas. So we promoted water conservation methods. Government also supported farmers. And now you can see, come to Idukki, majority of the farms, more than 60% is having own ponds or water conservation, rainwater harvesting systems. Because even though we speak about the drastic flood, but in between there's a drought seasons also coming. So this is the big challenge we are facing now, because we are not getting exact summer. In the summertime, the monsoon is coming, and the water, the rain intensity is in 2-hour rain, we will get it in 10 minutes. The quantity of rain is more. And as we have invested our Fairtrade premium for digitalization of our farm tools from 2014 onwards, but it took more than 10 years for finalization of it. Now we are in the process of our own mobile app called HubTrace, which will give you through which we can map the farms. We can data collection can be digitally. You can do the digital mapping. Then you can inspect the farms, so that even the QR code traceability system we can initiate. So this will comply with the UDR also. So the upcoming challenges in the UDR. So with this HubTrace, we are using it final version. We were successfully whatever the farms what we done it, successfully analyzed with UDR compliance. So after doing all these things, what the achievement is, we have an older data and the current data, digital data with us. So what we analyzed is around 8% of the coffee productivity has increased, and soil carbon was increased due to the input supply. Then carbon footprints we have to take because we are not gone to carbon credits. And the farmers were happy because whatever the lost coffee spices seedlings were reinitiated. These are all our climatic mitigation measures. Our future plans is to go for sustainability. Strategies are there, we are developed. We have to do the digital mapping 100% of the farmers. Also, we have a upcoming project which already started to plan around every year 100,000 seedlings in the Idiki district along with other 2 SPOs. This will be a bigger project for another 5 years. So 2030 we'll be able to complete 500,000 seedlings, which will revamp we are expecting to revamp the climatic challenges what we are facing. So also we are happy to share our expertise and digital mapping tools with other SPOs if somebody is interested. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That covered a lot of innovative interventions, whether it be on water security, the biochar production, and also digitalization and paperless documentation, again, supporting the carbon footprint. So now from Kerala, we move on further northwards to northwest to the hills of Darjeeling and the plains in Assam. I invite Mr. Indranil Ghosh, who is the director of Chamong Tea Group, to speak about the work he has been doing. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I am Indranil Ghosh. I represent Chamong Tea. We are the largest organic tea producer come exporter of the world. We have got 14 tea estates in Darjeeling, which are all 100% all internationally acclaimed organic certifications along with Fairtrade and Rainforest, and so is 4 estates of our Assam. And the climate change has brought in a lot of changes in the agricultural part, and the changes which are now need of the hour is being implemented all over the agricultural baseline. These are the strategies which we have been taken up within last 4-5 years of span in our plantations. Like the LPG distribution, we have stopped all the workers in the plantation not to collect firewood for their cooking, and we have stopped even the cutting of the trees in the plantation and the forest areas of the plantation. Instead, we have distributed LPG to all the workers' families in Darjeeling and Assam, which consist of around 19,000 permanent workers and 4,000 to 5,000 temporary casual workers. And from the dryer which were being used in the manufacturing of tea, it is for Assam, it was the natural gas from the beginning which was being used. But as you know that Darjeeling is a very interior hill station where we have to purchase LPG, and all the dryers have been changed from coal fire to LPG fire. Other than that, we have installed large scale gasifier machines in our plantation to make our own gas and use that in the plantation for manufacturing of tea, and the remaining is as biochar, which is put back into the soil. Along with that, we use the local trees, branches for making the biochar. Hence, we are planting around 50,000 saplings every year of shade trees in the plantation area. All the gasifiers which have been installed is Nagri Farm, Chamong, Maribong and Sri Dwarika Tea Estate, and Nagri Farm being the oldest and the largest plantation in our Darjeeling area. There are 2 gasifier machines in Nagri Farm. Other than that, we both in Assam and in Darjeeling to use the gasifiers and to produce biochar. As a company, we have taken initiative to plant 50,000 Albizia group and Bokhain group plantation in the forest areas. Other than that, in Assam, instead of the grid electricity, in all the 4 estates, we have installed 400 kVA to 700 kVA solar installation to run the factory, the bungalows and the villages through the solar electricity line. And in 4 of the estates, we have installed hydroelectricity. We are producing electricity from the local stream water. These are the, if you see from 2013, very early time, we started all these projects to distribute the LPG cylinders, stopping the workers from collecting the firewood, and reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, which plays a major part in climate change. The pruning litters were a major source of minerals for soil. Now that collection of pruning litter from the tea plantation has now also been stopped, which is now going back into the soil to enrich the soil. This is the cost for the LPG gas connection to 4619 households, which is equivalent to 247,000 euro. This is a new project for our Assam garden. The Assam population is much more than the Darjeeling tea estate populations. What we have done amongst the 15 villages of Tongnagaon, 9 villages of Maud and 12 villages of Shivpur, we have provided solar lights in the village, street lamps to be used instead of the electricity grid line which was being used in the villages of the workers' colony. And this is the cost of installation of solar street lights in the 3 Assam gardens, which is approximately 184,000 euro. This is the Chamong tea group from the very time. The first problem which came to us was anthraquinone, which was coming in the tea, and it was very problematic for us to export our teas way back in 2015-16. So we found that anthraquinone is from the nature, and one part was the coal which was being burned in the heaters to manufacture the tea, and also in withering of the teas. Hence, we changed to natural gas and LPG, 100% LPG in all across the plantations. 14 tea estates of Darjeeling and natural gas in Assam. And this was a company initiative which was approximately 133,000 euro. And for bigger gardens, it was approximately 200,000 euro. Cumulatively, our investment from the company side to make 100% coal-free environment, that is the stopping usage of fossil fuel, was 328,000 euro invested in it. And for the Assam part, it was around euro 278,000. And we approximately saved 4,600 metric ton of coal fossils to earth in Assam Tongnagaon. And for 13 estates of Darjeeling, we saved around 20,500 metric ton of coal fossils to earth. And with this, when you stopped the use of coal and fossil, the natural vegetation and trees get more increase due to less pollution and environmental friendly. These are the changes we did. And for the production of biochar along with the gasifier, approximately 91,000 kgs of biochar has been produced in the 4 estates during the 2020, starting from 2022 till March 25. And additionally, from 2017 onwards, we have been putting biochar of around 192,000 kgs biochar in the 3 estates, Chamong, Lingya and Tamsang, into the soil. And for Assam Tongnagaon, we have put in 130,000 kgs of biochar to tackle the climate change issue. And these were the increase of organic carbon. We have been organic since last more than 3 decades. And our soil organic carbon was approximately 2 to 2.5 after putting in all the organic materials. But after use of biochar, we have a target by 2028 to take up the organic carbon to more than 3.5%. The last testing during the last lean season, that is December, January of this year, we tested all across the board approximately 2.75 to 3.25 organic carbon is now in every tea sections.
So could you please conclude the time?
Yeah. And the project 3 is the gasifier, which we have already spoken. And project 4 is the agroforestry. As you see, that use of gasifier, that to make biochar as a company policy, we normally take the pollarding and branches of all the shade trees which are within, but that won't suffice for longer run. Hence, we took the initiative of planting 50,000 plants in all the estates every year to increase the soil. Other than that, we have the micro hydroelectricity plants in all the thing. This is the total cost of implications to reduce the climatic changes. The Fairtrade premium has been used around 418,000 euro to tackle the climatic changes, and the company initiative has been 33,191 euro. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that demonstrated a case where, along with the company initiatives, the worker committees, they were empowered enough to invest a lot on renewable energy and sustainability. So great story coming from Northeast. Moving further on, we travel westwards towards central India and western India. We have Mr. Avinash Karmakar working with over 25,000 organic cotton farmers. The floor is yours, sir.
Good morning, everyone. The climate change is visible inside the hotel. It's freezing. Huh? Outside, it's 30 degrees. It's freezing inside. So I'm Avinash, and I'm representing Pratibha Syntax. It is a textile vertical from farm to fashion. And I take care of the farm. And most of you are aware, but there is more glamour on the farm side than on the other side of the supply chain. That's be assured on that. So Vasudha Swaraj is the farming initiative of Pratibha Syntax, which I look after. So right now we are working, Akhil said 25,000, but thanks to regulatory framework, we reduced to 18,000 this year. So we are working with 18,000 farmers. So we are ROC, we are organic, we are region agri. So we are one of the first in regenerative organic certified by ROA. So this is the scale we are working at the farm level. And we consider our farmers as farmer scientists, because the one who has been doing farming from ages on the ground on hectares of the land, and then somebody comes from the institute doing 10 by 10 square feet trials for 4 years and trains them. So we consider these farmers scientists rather than others. So nobody can teach them farming better than they themselves. So looking at that part, we engage these farmers, considering them farmer scientists, and they are the people who actually given us all the framework for all the activities. Holistically, we are working with them. So first was the knowledge part, because in organic, you see none of the universities are teaching organic. So there is a huge lack of package of practices in the organic at different crops. So we worked with these farmers and developed package of practices for almost 8 crops besides cotton. So now they know what exactly is to be done while they want to be 100% organic. And for that, we have, along with them, established around training centers, 5 training centers, where these farmers can come and learn themselves by different techniques. All these farms have the demonstration farms on roughly 2 acres. So all those practices can be learned. We have video, audio advisory services. Besides, we have a team who work with these farmers, and 150 organic farmer scientists, we call them. So they are the people who are guiding us how to find the solution to their local problems sustainably. So first part we did was on the seed, because seed in organic cotton is one of the most challenging part. Same as the fair trade, because we require non-GM seed, and otherwise 98%, 95% of the seed is GM. So non-GM seed, we started our own production some 10 years back. So we have 20 acres dedicated land to produce our own non-GM hybrid seeds. Fairtrade helped us in that collaboration, where Fairtrade International, with the support of Trade UK, we had almost 7 years funding support, where we developed more than 3 varieties of cotton, our own indigenous varieties of cotton. And now these 3 varieties we are multiplying with roughly 40 farmers. So almost 60% of our own non-GM cotton seed is produced within the community with these farmers, and we reach to 80%. That's what the target is by 2030. So this research program with university also, there is a collaboration. Seed, now 80% of the seed, rather 60% of the seed is being sourced locally. So it doesn't travel all the way from south to north. So all those emission, and it's more resilient. So these are some of the seed varieties. They are going to be released by the government in this year. We are in the process. So this hybrid will be released. We also work on the input sustainability. The whole idea was to make the community reliant on all the agriculture activities. So their dependence on the external agencies should be minimized. So within the community, we are producing input which are sufficient for the entire 18,000 farmers. So the basic is cow urine collection, because cow urine is an essential part in agriculture, and the biggest challenge is how to collect the cow urine. So we established some 50 plus cow urine centers. We are every year collecting 3,000 liters of the cow urine. And my children, they still mock me when I'm calling my team and telling on phone, I do not know, I need 100,000 liters of cow urine. So they just laugh whether this guy is going to like make those cow drink water or what. But this is how 300,000 liters of the cow urine we collect every year, which goes into the soil and is a very good source of nitrogen. And this converts into around 100,000 kgs of Jivamrut. This is a microbial culture most of you know, which is being produced within the community by the woman. And there is a soybean production along with the cotton, and soybean is a rich source of protein. So we converted this into a plant growth promoters. So we are producing around 100,000 liters of this plant growth promoters. So biggest myth in the organic agriculture is that it cannot fulfill the nutrient requirement of the plant. That's what the myth, and which we are trying to break this myth. Organic can fulfill the entire nutrient requirement of any plant. You don't have to put the NPK from the outside. It's already available there in the nature. So this is a biodynamic thing. As earlier speakers, they talked about biochar. We are also working big in the biochar. This year, we produce roughly 100,000 metric ton of biochar from this open Contouki method. We have our own biopesticide manufacturing facilities with seed extract and plant leaf extract. So we branded all these projects, and this is manufactured by the community itself. So we branded it and giving it back to the community. So this is what, so almost 80% of the inputs and seed which come from our own sources within the community, like reducing the dependence on the market. And all these inputs are being tested on laboratories. So just giving you an example, the biodynamic manure which we source, we procure, sell it at 50 rupees a kg, which has, right now we tested for 3 microbes, which has the colony count, CFU count, more than 10 to the power 10. Otherwise, when you go in the market, 1 microbe, 1 liter bottle is sold at 700 rupees and you just have 1 microbe. And that too also 10 to the power 9 is the CFU count. So within the community, and all these microbes are locally. Otherwise, you produce microbes somewhere in the south and being transported in the north. They don't work actually. So we all all these things are kind of validated on the lab. We established nursery there. We had support from Tentree, the very tree. So every year we produce roughly 3 nurseries. We produce 120,000 plant saplings. They are being produced by women, self-help groups. And every year they are being given to the farmers. And this is the result we are envisaging. Like all the bunds, the periphery of the farms has to have plantation, and it has a huge climate impact because it reduces the water evaporation, it acts as the wind barrier, and so many other things. Even erosion of the soil is being controlled on that part. Regenerative practices, there are a lot of regenerative because we are certified under ROC. So we identified roughly 30 crops which can go well with cotton without competition. So right now in our project area, when we go for the intercropping, almost 30 crops are being sown at different places along with the cotton. And it has everything, like you can have pulses, grains, spices, horticulture crops, vegetables, or it can be grown with the cotton, providing additional income. So right now, 25% of our cotton farmers are growing minimum 3 crops along with cotton, to some going up to 15 crops along with same plot. You will see the 15 crops along with the cotton. So that's the biodiversity enhancement. We could able to do it. Definitely, it gives the additional income to the farmers. So on the crop diversity, as said, the impact is when we started, there are 4 or 5 main crops. Now we reached to some 15 different crops within this. Plant biodiversity has been increased because of this nursery which we have developed. And this is what the impact we could able to create. Some of this we could able to measure, some still need to be measured. Around 500 acres pilot we have taken, where third-party validation was done for measuring the carbon sequestration. So this with Bhumitra we did, and around 1,500 metric ton of carbon sequestration was third-party validated. This is registered on carbon social standard registry. So this is available for even carbon credit cell, which we are going to work on the insetting of cotton production carbon sequestration. And lastly, I'll just talk on the biochar quickly. This we find as game changer for ourselves, because when we produce cotton, it has 600 kg of the seed cotton produced, but at the same time, 1 plant, 5 ton, that is 1500 kg is the biomass which is being produced as cotton stock. If that is converted into biochar and go back to the soil, it has the huge positive impacts. So many SDGs it covers. The biochar potential alone itself has reduced the 65% emission, which that's the IPCC report. 65% emission can be sequestered just by making biochar if hypothetically entire biomass gets into this. This is the open contour method we have done. We got it registered, so third-party validation is there. Last year, 1,000 metric ton biochar which we prepared, converted into 2,000 carbon credits, which are available for offsetting as well as insetting, because we have all the traceability of the cotton. So this has the potential to decarbonize, rather make your garment supply chain neutral, because this is coming. Now the cotton which we produce, wherever biochar is applied, it comes with almost 7 kg carbon negative. The 1 kg of fiber comes with additional 7 kg, which one can use to decarbonize in the further supply chain. So that's the impact. Some third-party validated, some not. So we are producing 100,000 liters of cultures, 100,000 liters of plant growth promoters, and the 2 things which we ultimately got this year validated by third party: 1,700 metric ton carbon sequestration by avoidance using regenerative practices, and 2,000 metric ton of carbon sequestration permanently removed because of the biochar which was put in the soil. And this biochar, just to tell you, we worked with the CICR, the Central Institute of Cotton Research. Last year when we worked with the 70 farmers, trial farmers, it gave the yield enhancement of 35% average very first year. So that has the potential to increase the yield in the cotton itself. Vegetables, we had around 80% to 200% increase in the very first year with the biochar. So this is what I think is going to be a game changer in coming season for us, because it's a huge biomass on the cotton field. So with the collaboration, with all support from different organizations, I think we can and we will decarbonize our planet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So there too, we saw a lot of grassroots level empowerment. We could see the farmer interest groups also doing a lot of initiatives. So while we move on to the final presentation, we travel further north, that is to the northern plains where rice is grown. I invite Mr. Amit Singh. He is the head sustainability of Nature Biofoods. Over to you.
My heartiest greetings to all of you. My name is Amit Singh, and I represent here Nature Biofoods and Ecolife Foundation. Today, Nature Biofoods is working with more than 80,000 farmers in India under organic farming and cultivation. And we are very proud of our association with Fairtrade, which we started in 2011. And currently, we are working with more than 10,000 farmers under Fairtrade certification system, having around 10 flow IDs. So now today we are talking about climate. And when we are talking about climate, I must say that we need to integrate climate smart, sustainable and resilient practices. And when we talk about climate, we must talk about rice, because rice contributes 17% of the methane emissions in India. And when we talk about climate, we also must talk about water. Again, the rice is very highly water intensive crop. It took almost 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water to produce just 1 kg. And also when we talk about climate, we must talk about emissions and carbon sequestration. So I have a lot to tell, a lot to share, but I'll keep my presentation focused on 3 major interventions which I believe have impacted the farming community and the environment a lot. So one, I'll be talking about land laser leveling. So it's a very simple technology. It's not something very new. But with this land laser leveling technology, it helped the farmers to reduce almost 30% of the water usage. It also helped the farmers to reduce more than 700 kilowatt hour electricity consumption in 1 hectare. The same technique also helps the farmers by lowering the irrigation time by more than 50 hours per hectare. So now it is not just lowering the irrigation time, it is also saving the cost of the farmers, because when it is lowering the irrigation time, it reduces the diesel consumption or the electricity consumption as well. Now the same technique is also helping the farmers to increase the yield by 7 to 12%. So I have marked here 8%. And when you talk about all these things to customers in the Europe, in the USA, that okay, the farmers are reducing the water consumption, farmers are lowering the irrigation time, farmers are increasing the yield by this technology, they are also ready to pay the premium price for these interventions. Now this brings the win-win situation for all. Because as a smallholder farmer, if I am a smallholder farmer, and somebody will come to me and talk about climate change, I'll say, yes, we need to work on climate change. I am very much concerned about climate change. But ultimately, my farm profitability is very important. So we need to work on, we need to think on more on the climate solutions, which is a win-win situation for all, like one of the example I have given. So we talk about water reduction strategies, we talk about rice. Now I'll talk about water storage and water conservation, second intervention. So as an organization, we are working in construction of ponds and stop dams. So basically in this region, the rainfall is very good, but the problem is the bigger boulders and stones on the soil, and there is no water catchment area. So ultimately the water gets run off. So we have constructed a lot of ponds, and the amount of water you are seeing in these pictures, there was none before. So it gives you a lot of happiness and joy to see that your interventions are working, and that gives you utmost satisfaction. So again, some of the pictures which also shows biogas and other, but I am not going to touch these topics today. Now the third one is emissions and carbon sequestration. So it's not just about our farm production, it is also about processing unit and the whole supply chain. So as a company, we took the target to become a carbon neutral in scope 1 and scope 2 by 2030, and carbon neutral in scope 3 by 2045. And we are proud that we have reduced 50% of the carbon emissions in the last 3 years. Now here is the very, very interesting and practical point again. So we want to be a carbon neutral, and then there is a discussion, okay, what we can do. And it's not just about our processing unit that we can easily do with by putting solar energy and all, but it's all about your whole supply chain when you are want to become carbon neutral. So there was a lot of discussion what we can do. So okay, let's invest on solar, let's invest on wind energy. But the amount we require to invest on wind energy and solar energy, it will hit our balance sheet. And especially if we talk about growing company or the smaller company, the investors will back out. So now, then okay, what we can do, another thing. So we thought about FLOE system, carbon sequestration through FLOE system, and we are still working on it. But again, there are challenges and there are question marks on how permanent this solution is, because ultimately, again, the rice is 5-6 months crop. So then we thought about plantation. Okay, we can do large scale plantation, but again there is a challenge, because one is the survival rate, number two, regular watering is required, regular fertilizer is required, and then there is another challenge of abandoned stray cows in India. We have more than 5 million stray cows in India. They will eat this plant. Then the question came, okay, let's do plant guard and fencing. Then again, your cost will increase so much that it's not becoming viable as a growing organization. So we come up with the solution of carbon sequestration through Opuntia ficus indica variety of cactus. Why this? Because it does not need water, it does not need fertilizer, the animals don't eat it. And if we talk about its carbon sequestration potential, it is very much efficient in CO2 because it's follow more of a camp methodology. as compared to C3 plants. So this is something that we are also doing on a large scale, and in the first scale we are planting more than 10 lakh trees. And collaboration with various central and state government university for further research on this topic. Yes, the data need to be wet, and so we are also working and measurement of our impact through satellite-based technology, where we can measure carbon storage, we can measure biodiversity, and we can measure water holding capacity of the soil. It's not like that. We have the solutions available. We need to see how we can upscale these interventions. So in the end, I would like to say that you rarely, if you talking about climate, you rarely need true intentions. And along with the true intentions, you must have a very, very strong passion to convert those intentions into efforts. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we saw a lot of work done on ground with focus on water security, carbon sequestration, and also, yeah, a wonderful blending of technology for measuring the outputs. Thank you, sir. So yeah, now we move on to the panel questions. So I'll be asking the questions which is common to all the speakers. So each of you can answer it from your own perspectives. So first question, all of you had spoken about the various challenges you have been facing as a result of climate change. So I would like to know from each of you, which according to you would be the most urgent challenge out of that? And how do you think we will be able to tackle it? Shall we start from Avinash ji?
Thank you, Akhil. I think if you want me to select one, because there are so many challenges, so if just to select one which I want to focus immediately and right now is the soil. Soil degradation is one of the biggest challenges. Almost 40% of the soil is being degraded and it's increasing. So what I would prefer for our project is to work something to improve the soil. So that's the core area where I would like to focus in the initial year, if you want me to select the one out of many challenges.
Thanks a lot, sir. That makes sense. I think next we can have a perspective from Rice.
I think water scarcity is the one biggest challenge, and the another one is methane emission, and the third one, if I'll talk about, is extreme weather conditions. So, but to tackle these challenges, we know the solutions. There are scientific solutions available, like direct seeded rice, zero tillage, alternate and wetting drying method, SRI system of rice intensification, land laser leveling, crop diversification, crop rotation. So there are scientific solutions available. But what is the need of the R is to upscale these interventions that you are doing. Because playing pilot all the time will not going to solve this climate problem. And believe me, the time is running out. So we need to think about something that can scale up these interventions. And to scale up these interventions, what I think is required is, one is global partnerships, and second is market incentives linked to this, these initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we have the perspective from T, Indranil, sir?
Hi. We find that there are 5 major issues. If we see erratic rainfall and drought, rising temperatures, pest and disease proliferation, soil degradation, and economic and social fallout. But if we see through as of today for climate change, the number 1 is the erratic rainfall and drought. Number 2 is the rising temperatures. We have to have adaptive agronomy on that. that is in tea basically. We can have drought resistant cultivars and along with it micro irrigation systems. And for ecosystem restoration, we can have, to avoid the rising temperatures, the shelter belts and agroforestry increase, which we are ongoing projects for last 7-8 years. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Finally, can we have it from coffee? Sreekumar, sir.
Thanks, Akhil. The same challenges were as a coffee and spice farmer we are also facing in Idiki, because there is a drastic change in the climate after the flood, I said. Nowadays, we are not getting the exact summer. Summertime, we will get unusual rains, sometimes flood. If you see the calendar last 4 months, every day it's almost raining in the project area. And sometimes in between there's a drought situation is also there. So we are supplying drought resistant variety produced by Coffee Board. New varieties of coffee we are, spice seedlings we have started giving it. Also we are educating farmers to build more check dams and water holding things instead of wasting the rainwater, because to prevent the drought. And also we are going ahead with the planting projects to reduce the heat. These are all the current challenges.
Thanks a lot, sir. Yes. So we move on to the next question. The next question is more relevant to fair trade. Can you share some examples where the fair trade programs, or let's say the standards, have helped you in battling the climate crisis? This time, I think we can start with Indranil, sir. You have the mic with you.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
See, while I gave you all the presentation, the whole house have gone through the presentation. If you see that we have been planning from a very long time on this climate change, because you are in agriculture and it's day-to-day temperature, rainfall, moisture and everything is, the whole crop is dependent on the climate conditions. We say it's weather god. For a planter, it's weather god, which helps us, and fair trade has helped us in transitioning to clean cooking, LPG distribution to the workers with a huge investment. And other than that, we have got the solar street light, which was very recently, last year, in all the Assam gardens. And that, along with the localized impact worker inclusion, we have done both the projects for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Maybe I think Sreekumar sir can answer the next question.
Yeah, actually the Fairtrade standard itself is briefing. The chapter 3, there are many of the points: water stewardship, biodiversity, all are already in the implementation, and climate remediation measures are mentioned in the SPO standards itself. But as an SPO, we have some fair trade programs which was helped us a lot to fight against the climate change. One is, along with NAPP, we have a solar dryer project. We have changed the drying facility into solar. So we assume that around 20-30% fuel, we could, fossil fuels usage reduction was there. Also, Fairtrade NAPP was also helped with the polyhouses, which helped us to bring back the farmers after the flood situation. And along with that, we are the biochar unit recently invested is also a Fairtrade program. Also, through the premium, we are going at digitalization. So these are all, anyway, positive sides of Fairtrade. We can say that it's a real impact of.
Thank you, sir. Next, shall we have the answer from Amit, sir?
I think there are many impacts because of the fair trade premium, starting from in our project, starting from biogas energy to solar energy. And then I talked about land razor leveling, system of rice intensification. So there are many positive, good impacts through the use of premium. But I'll talk more about broader point, that is fair trade premium. That is the center point here, and which is, I think, the main USP of the fair trade system for the farming community. So I also believe we need to sensitize more the farming communities under the fair trade groups, because sometimes I see that the groups made choices like, okay, let's buy spray pump, let's buy sickle and spade, small agriculture implements, and overall individually it's a value of maybe 1,000, but overall the value becomes in lakhs and lakhs. So also there is a need to sensitize the farming groups and the producer groups on this matter. And at the end of the day, we need to decide the priority also under the fair trade premium system. Is it climate? Yes, it should be. Maybe the second priority is this. It should not be very random. Yes, I can understand that spray pump is needed. Some small agriculture implements are required. There could be multiple problems. But I think we need to work upon more on prioritizing the needs for the climate and other sectors.
Thank you, sir. Finally, Avinash, sir.
So you asked how standards and programs worked, especially in the climate. But one thing I just before go on that, because काफी किसान भी बैठे हैं, अगर आप किसी भी किसान से पूछो कि खुदा एक चीज कर दे उनके फेवर में, तो मेरे ख्याल से सब यही बोलते हैं कि मौसम साथ नहीं देता है. मौसम अगर साथ देने लगे तो ऐसे ही मेरी प्रोडक्टिविटी कंसिस्टेंट हो जाए. क्यों धीरेन्द्र जी, सही है ना? मौसम साथ देने लगे तो मेरे ख्याल से आधी समस्या हल हो जाए. तो क्लाइमेट इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज, एंड as we are addressing this, so how Fairtrade helped us in this, especially all programs are kind of planned around the standard itself, because climate already is the element of the Fairtrade standard. So for us, and Amit was also talking about the pilot and the sustainability, because how many pilots we are going to do it at the smaller level. But in our case, it worked not only on the pilot, but we become self-sustainable. That is the seed. When we started 7 years back, the seed program, Fairtrade and Fairtrade International and Trade UK, they supported us, and the program was for 6 years, which extended for 8 years. So first 3 years, we did the seed multiplication program, and second phase of the 3 years, we worked on doing our own research and producing our own seed. So at this point of time, how this helped us, we are producing 50% of our own seed, which we aim to reach to almost 80% in next few years. So I think we are self-sustainable. Now this seed is being produced within the community and sold to the farmer at almost 30% lesser price. And now it is being sold, so it's sustainable. We generate that revenue, and some amount goes back to the research activities for producing new seed germplasm. So all that has worked. Now seed, locally grown, it's more resilient to the climate and less attack of the pests and insects and disease. So all that has worked. So it's from zero to being self-reliant. That's what the Fairtrade program worked in our favor. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Now, before we go to the audience for the questions, I have one final question. This is more for the Fairtrade leadership and us to learn a lot more. So finally, the final question is, if you have to identify one action which Fairtrade should invest in, or something which we could focus on to accelerate climate action, what would that be?
So let me start with, because as I said, we are more focusing on the soil treatment. Soil degradation is the biggest challenge. As we worked in seed and become the self-reliant, I think with Fairtrade and other collaboration, soil improvement is going to be the area where I would really like to engage in, and this is going to be really sustainable, because if the initial level we get some funding, the carbon financing is going to help us to make it sustainable. Last year, kind of 2,000 credits which we generated because of the biochar is going to fetch us somewhere around 1.5 million euros. But the same amount was initially invested as well. So once these credits are being kind of converted into the cash, So naturally it is going to be self. So what we need is the collaboration at the initial level where we can produce biochar, put it back to the soil, and that is going to have like whatever X amount of investment you're going to give, 2.5x return, so social return as well as in terms of productivity and climate, of course. So that is something where I would like to engage in some kind of projects with Fairtrade and as well as brand, because these credits are going to be available for brands for the insetting or offsetting their supply chain as carbon neutral. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amit sir, would you like to go next?
I think we also need to work for climate resilient funds on a policy level and also on a marketing level. We also need to work on market incentives for the farming group which are working more on the climate smart technologies. And the third one could be standard from again the policy level from the Fairtrade, which gives climate ratings to the group, because again there is a diverse use of the Fairtrade premium, and further if there would be Fairtrade climate ratings, it would help the organization to put more funds into the climate sector.
Thank you, sir. Indranil sir, yes.
Our idea would be investing in community-led climate resilience plans. We can have the priority could be taken up as localized impact, workers' inclusion and sustainability beyond certification. In that, we can stress on to participatory climate risk mapping, which is workers and management jointly identify the vulnerability, soil erosion, water scarcity, pest outbreaks, and co-design the solutions. Number 2 should be Fairtrade funded micro grants, support for rainwater harvesting, shade tree planting, composting unit, biogas systems, and obviously which we have been started doing, that is production of biochar in the estate level. And we need training in the climate smart agronomy delivered in the local languages with gender sensitive formats to ensure accessibility. Along with that, you need monitoring and feedback loops. Obviously, communities track the progress and adjust plans annually. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Finally, we have it from coffee.
Yeah, we have 3 points. One, as a coffee producer, we have to multiply the biochar community units in Idiki, which will help to improve the soil conditions and water conservation. Second is there is an upcoming thing as shade-grown coffee, because we have to give more other spices inside the coffee plants. So there is a income diversification is there. Also, shade-grown coffee is more market access is there, because coffee is the second largest volume traded in the world after petroleum. And third is digitalization. So digitalization, as even though Honorable Councillor said that it's low risk in India, but still EUDR compliance is very crucial for coffee farmers in the upcoming days. Also, the digitalization will help to identify the disease outbreaks and the mitigation measures. We have to more quicker access to the farmers for digitalization. These are the 3 things we have to intervene more. Also, as an SPO level, rather than, because small SPOs are there, larger SPOs are there. So in an area, if SPOs, because climate mitigation is, we can't fight it alone. It needs more support from other NGOs, government organizations, Fairtrade International, NAPP, so many localized governments also. So we have to have a mass movement on one area. If we say Idiki or Wayanad or somewhere, what identify the challenges there, move forward together, not individual based projects. I don't know how long it will succeed, because smaller SPOs are also there. So we have to find out solutions together with all the stakeholders. This is another one point for me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Now we open it up to the audience. Yes, we have both Krishnendu sir and Shilajit sir. Can someone pass the mic? We'll start with Shilajit sir. Yes. Can someone share the mic, please?
Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation by all the panelists. Very interesting and a lot of activities that you are taking. I got a question which is in two parts. First part is to the three who are doing biochar, is to their experience, one on the costs of the initial cost per acre or per hectare, if they can share. Anybody can do that. And the second one is the raw material for that. Is it sustainable on a long run with the raw materials available? And the second part of the question is to Mr. Avinash. Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. What has been your experience of using cow urine as far as exports to Europe is concerned?
So experience of cow urine for the, I'm not exporting cow urine, so
Yes.
I have not understood that.
What I meant was the
I'm just kidding.
product.
I know. I'm supplying the garments. I don't see the traces of cow urine in the garment. But anyway, come back to the first questions. So for us, it was because we just started and we are working on artisan model. Artisan model of making biochar is open Kontuki model, which is approved scientifically, and mostly it is registered on CSI, Carbon Standard International. That's the registry platform where we did it. And each credit is being sold at roughly, last year we could able to sell it at $125 per credit. And 1 ton biochar gives you 2 credit because biochar is a permanent removal. Once it goes into the soil, it remains in the soil for thousands of years. So your carbon is permanently sequestered. So it considered as permanent removal. So 1 ton equivalent to 2 credits. So roughly $250. 1 ton production will fetch $250. So that's the value one can generate. Though in the second year when we scaled it up, we are still not able to sell much quantity. Last year we generated hardly 200 kgs, which we could able to sell at this cost. And this is the revenue one can generate. And the production, because we are still working on that part, primarily cotton stock is consistently available. As we said, each acre produces roughly 1.5 ton of cotton stock. With 10, I'm telling this number with less moisture. Otherwise, 2 ton with almost 30%, 40% moisture level, with 1 ton to 1.5 ton with 10% moisture, which is going to be required for biochar manufacturing. So last year, the collection itself, farmer gives you at the free of cost. You just remove it from the cotton fields. But transportation to the local centralized, because we developed this at the cluster level, it traveled hardly 15 kilometers from farm to that cluster level manufacturing unit. But it cost us somewhere around 2 rupees 50 paisa to 3 rupees per kg. And you're going to convert into 30% biochar. It's the 31:3 ratio. So the material cost itself becomes 10 rupees a kg for me, which is so huge. And then processing costs, whatever you say. So that's roughly, there is not much capital expenditure. So last year to us, it was somewhere around 14,000 rupees per ton was the manufacturing cost, which primarily we want to reduce it to 5,000 rupees a metric ton. Because once it is 5,000 rupees a metric ton, then you're not dependent on carbon financing. Even if you're able to sell the carbon credits or not, it doesn't matter. Because farmer in any way is going to procure it at 5,000 rupees when it has the 30% increment in the yield. That's the proposition you offer to the farmer. So that's what the economics. Right now, 14,000 metric ton, which I have planned to reduce maybe in next 2-3 years as we scale up to 5,000 rupees a ton. But carbon financing is available roughly $250, which is equivalent to 18,000 rupees. But you have 30% brokerage and other charges. So what you get is roughly 14,000. So we could able to break even. We can break even once we are able to realize that cash out of selling that carbon credit. So far not. So that's the general economics. And about cow urine, you said, cow urine, it does not have any impact as far as my understanding. I'm not very scientifically kind of done that part. But cow urine does not have any impact on your product as such. Cow urine has 2% of the nitrogen, which works, and a lot of amino acids. So when you apply it, so it's degradable, so nothing is going to be traced. And biomass has always been something which was used to be put back to the soil. So the normal philosophy is if fruit you take, the entire body of the plant you give back to the soil, then you don't have to do anything. Like in cotton, you take back that cotton and give back the body, that is cotton stock, so your soil is going to be good. And cow dung and cow urine is going to be the additional requirement. So I don't see any challenge so far, impact of cow urine on the product.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We are way behind the schedule, so can we close with one last question? We have 3 people raising hands. So can I go to the person at back? No, it would be the final question, yes.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Ansh, and I've seen a huge impact in all of the presentations. Congratulations to all. I've seen you all are working from 18,000 to 80,000 farmers. It's a huge number. But I can see everything is manual nowadays. While we talk about organic farming or a sustainable farming. But when we see the world is moving towards technology, and farmers are the ones who are still lacking with the technology. So how you see this sustainability can be impacted with the technology, or how technology can help us to scale these initiatives?
Who would like to answer? Yes.
You see, with technology in the tea plantations, we have seen exodus of workers from the plantation. South India has seen it 15, 20 years ago, and now made up from other parts of India. We are Northeast, we are at the tip of the iceberg, where our average absenteeism is 50%, and with technology, we are still trying hard for mechanization in organic cultivation. Now, if you see in the Assam plantation where the area is plain, we can do mechanization in each and every field cultivation work, starting from using weed cutter in the plantation, the spraying machine, and using the mechanized plucking also. Whereas in the mountains, where the terrain is more than 65 degree to 75 degree terrain, we can use the brush cutter in the mechanization, but not in plucking. That's the technology we are now using. Other than that, now with ISRO and Google mapping, the weather stations we have installed, which can give you an hourly update. Because in hills, you don't know, the sun is up now, within half an hour it's raining, and for next 7 days is misty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So with that, we come to the close of the session. So as we close the session, I'm reminded of the words with which we began the session with. We do not inherit the planet from our forefathers, but we borrow it from the future generations. So I think today the voices of our speakers, it has truly reflected what it meant. So let's carry forward the spirit of this discussion with the conviction that fair trade is not just about fairness in trade, but it is a promise which we keep towards the future generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akhil, for being the perfect ringmaster to ensure that, okay, we cut down the session here. Gentlemen, there is a token of appreciation, if I may request you to just hold back. Meanwhile, Lisa, thank you so much for making your way. I'm just going to be calling one by one the names. Okay, for this fantastic session, can we kindly honor Amit Singh? Ladies and gentlemen, Amit Singh is the head of sustainability, nature, biofoods, and CEO, Ecolife Foundation. He's a seasoned sustainability leader with over 15 years of expertise. His work spans climate neutrality, GHG, life cycle analysis, sustainable agriculture, and community-driven development programs. Did we have a group photograph much before? Okay. Wow. Well optimized. Mr. Avinash. Avinash is the Vice President, Pratibha-Vasudha, Jaivik, Krishi, Kalyan, Samiti. He heads a strategic business unit at Pratibha Syntex Limited, driving sustainability and stakeholder engagement in organic cotton sector. Up next, I would invite Mr. Sreekumar, the Chief Executive Officer, with 18 years of experience, leadership in sustainable agriculture, organic certification, and rural development. He has driven business growth and global market expansion for spices, coffee, fruits, and cocoa. And Mr. Indranil Ghosh. Mr. Indranil, the Director, Chamong. He's the Director of Operations and Plantations and Chamong Tea Group, overseeing 18 tea estates in Darjeeling and Assam, with a focus on organic farming, sustainability, and ESG practices. Perhaps we could have another group photograph with the giveaways and the mementos, while Mr. Akhil, being the anchor for this entire session. Akhil, yeah, you can also pose with that, because I know you are one of our distinguished speakers in the upcoming session. You can always hold this for the group photograph. The gentlemen are just making sure this is picture perfect.